Well, Australia, we're sorry. We owe an apology to an entire continent.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we're living that full life aboard Royal Caribbean's 9-month ultimate world cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
Yes, we are.
Well, friends, as we said in the intro, we want to actually just make a couple of corrections. We've been doing YouTube now for 2 years, so I guess having two things we've said wrong is not too bad. But the worst part is they both involve Australia, and we just finished 2 days in New Zealand and 5 days in Australia, and we absolutely loved
Yes.
both countries. We did, but we learned some things that we had said in a couple of previous videos that we want to correct.
Right,
Well,
and-
the first.
Right. Well, and friends, it is extremely important for us to be accurate and not give out any false information. So I'm so sorry that we did.
Yeah.
But
Well, and in fact, that's probably a good thing because we've had some people leave us comments that pointed this out. That let us know if we gave some incorrect information. So,
Yes.
as we always say, we always say like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. But we do also say, please, if you see anything on our videos that you have better information or want to leave us a comment, of course, kindly leave us a comment and let us know if we ever do get anything
And
wrong.
we read each and every one of your comments.
We do. So go ahead.
Well, the first is on smoking. So we were under the impression that smoking was not allowed anywhere, indoors or outdoors, on a cruise ship in the Australian waters. That is incorrect. That smoking is not allowed inside a cruise ship at all in Australia, but outside on a cruise ship is fine. So inside, when you're talking the casino where smoking is typically allowed on many cruise ships, you cannot smoke in the casino. However, outside in their designated smoking areas, you can. Now, that said, as we were crossing the Tasmanian Sea, we had some pretty rough weather.
Rain and storms.
Right. And so for safety reasons, they actually closed off outside access to us. They didn't. So it might have been difficult for the smokers because they couldn't get outside to the smoking areas, and then they couldn't smoke inside. So anyway, that's really the correction we needed to make.
Right. I did think it was interesting. We were talking to the captain at one point, and we actually were asking, on a Radiance class ship, we're on Serenade of the Seas, the solarium, the all-adult area, has a roof that opens up, and it can open. Well, I think we saw him open it one day, and we asked him, hey, on a nice day, could we open the solarium roof? And he said, well, we can, but we can't in Australia. And he said, because we have live plants in the solarium.
Fun fact.
Just a little, interesting fact. So that way, no pollen, no potential insects, anything would be released from the solarium. So I did think that was interesting that we can't open our solarium roof because of the live plants that it would expose to Australia at that point. So not saying anything incorrect, but just thought it was an interesting fun fact.
Right. Well, let's get to our second mistake
Correction,
that we have. Yeah, our second correction that we need to talk about.
Right. Well, we did a video on reef-safe sunscreen because it is becoming more and more prevalent and more important that you use the proper sunscreens, not just to protect yourself, but to protect the environment.
Right.
Well, one of the things we had done research on, and we had actually gotten comments from people that said, hey, you need to know this, was that this is the incorrect statement, so we'll repeat it, that you can only buy over-the-counter sunscreens that are labeled as SPF 15 or less in Australia. If you want to get sunscreen that's SPF 15 or more, you have to have a prescription. And what we had been told is the sunscreen manufacturers that if you buy a sunscreen in Australia that's SPF 15, it probably is SPF 30 or 50 or something, but they only label it 15 so you don't have to get a prescription.
This was our incorrect information.
That's right. So that is not correct. That was actually an old law in Australia, but that hasn't been around for quite some time. When we were in Airlie Beach, Australia recently, we thought, let's check this out. We went to a pharmacy, and the pharmacy technician was there, and she was wonderful. And I asked her some questions. She showed us the sunscreen, and sure enough, there's SPF 30, SPF 50 sunscreen. And in fact, their cost for the sunscreen was actually less expensive on average than we would pay in the US. So very
There you go.
affordable, and you can get the different SPF ratings, which you want to use at least a 30 is what is recommended. And you can buy those right there over the counter in Australia. So no issues there at all. So again, we just want to say we're sorry, Australia. We had some incorrect information. There happened to be two things that were incorrect. But that is very important because Australia and New Zealand both have very high skin cancer rates, so it is important to use that sunscreen, to buy that sunscreen, and don't be worried that you can't get a particular SPF there. So,
Right.
well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give you a little bit of correction there to a couple of videos. We'll actually link to those videos so you can take a look at them, and now you have the as Paul Harvey would have said, the rest of the story for those videos.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate you watching as always.
Have a beautiful day. Take care, friends. Bye bye.
Bye-bye now.